One driver who's had his work cut out for him is John Bowe. Tough time in qualifying, but wow, race one and even race two, a win. Fantastic stuff.
It's always great to win for our little group of guys from the Bendigo Retro Muscle Car team. You know, we win together, lose together, so we've won a race now. Quali was very difficult because we had this electrical gremlin which actually affected us in the last race at Darwin. So finally we've found it and we've eliminated it, so it's all good.
Yes, but there is that one more to go, isn't it?
Well, always the third race, it's a reverse grid, it's a big mix-up for everybody. Usually produces the wildest racing you're going to see. So, yeah, it's good fun. I always have a crack. I haven't won one yet, but you never know.
It's been a mixed bag this race, and John Bowe will start from the back of the field for this one. Now, to explain how this works, the Waco City Trophy we have today, it's 16 laps. The top 50% from qualifying is now inverted and sent to the rear of field. So the fast guys from qualifying, Carl, now come from the back.
Yeah, it's a great format. We've seen some excellent racing in the past with this format. JB's had to come from the back already. The first race, we saw him do a great job of that. Unfortunately for him, he's starting from the back again, almost alongside Glenn Seaton, a couple of positions in front. As we see the grid here, Leo Tobin will start off the front row with Rowan Little, Greg Keenan third, Michael Cannon fourth, Darren Beale, Rory O'Neill in sixth, seventh is Alan Bowen, Mark King in eighth. Look out for Mark coming through. Grant Wilson ninth, Graham Stewart 10th.
Ben Burkhardt will start on the next row with Brett Curran, Rusty French and Keith Kasuki. We did see Kasuki's car in the paddock. Unsure whether that car will make it out for today. The two Adams, Garwood and Bressington off the 8th row. Karen Poloski and fast Eddie Abelnika off the next row. And John Bowe towards the back. But Glenn Seaton and Jason Gomersall starting from the 10th row of this race.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys coming through. It always provides a lot of entertainment, a lot of talking points. John Bowe, though, he's had his work cut out from all weekend. He's been on the back foot. From a driver's point of view, you can never get upset by this, though. You just got to see it as an opportunity. And as you've seen, he had a race win yesterday, so he's up to the challenge.
He was an absolute demon from the back of the field, but he's coming with the likes of Glenn Seaton and Jason Gomersall. This is Leo Tobin. Great to have Leo's car back in the field. It spent the night down at Mark King's workshop last night repairing the front end. It sheared the bolts off the front hub in race number 1. They took it down to King's workshop just down the road here, fixed it up. He's out there and will start from pole position for this one. Eddie Abelnika will carry another one of our onboard cameras starting from 18th position. But it's a little Porsche on the front row of Rowan Little. Totally different looking grid. It's been traditional this year with our third race. And Little's decided to go to the lane, so whether this is a move he's made deliberately to get out of the way already or not, but it leaves the front row to Leo Tobin. 16 laps. We're going to go 3 laps longer than yesterday. So they bring it up to the start line, waiting for the green flag. And here it is, the final race of the Touring Car Masters here at Queensland Raceway.
Cars off the road already. We're 4 or 5 wide there down the front straight. It's amazing how they just all channel in 2 by 2 through that first corner. Very quick first corner, mind you.
Jump on board with Eddie Abelnika straight away. The Brisbane's cheapest cars, Falcon Coupe. Traffic everywhere you like. As Leo Tobin leads Mick Cannon onto the back straight for the first time.
You don't want to be around the outside of turn 2, especially this late in the weekend. All the tyre marbles that are out there. Plus, so you want to set yourself up nicely for a good hit up the inside into turn 3.
So Tobin, a little bit of a margin here already on Cannon. We go back to Mark King. Alan Belgian is in 4th position ahead of Brett Curran, who's in the field this weekend. On the Trans Am races, Darren Beale, Greg Keane in the next of the Porsches. And Abelnika going with Gomersall. The 2-door A9X Tirana is ahead and squirming a little bit under brakes on the run down here. Seaton alongside. They're up to 9th position already.
Yeah, moving very quickly through the field there. I just wonder about John Bowe's tyres. He used them up pretty hard yesterday in both races to get to the positions that he did, so he might struggle a little bit. Saying that, we saw JB up a little bit of a delayed start, if you like, in yesterday's race. So maybe those tyre pressures, longer race, they are starting a little bit lower.
Look how quick we saw Jason Gomersall under brakes, wrapped up 2 cars in the run down to turn 6. So Tobin, 1.1 seconds is the lead through turn number 1. Back to King, back to Cannon in 3rd. That's Keith Kasuki, so he's back out there. Good to see the 52 car, because that looked wounded after that race yesterday.
Certainly did. There was a lot of fluid coming out of the front of that car, so good that they got it back out for today.
Side-by-side stuff happening on the back straight. Adam Garwood taking Glenn Seaton with him. They're going to go 3 wide, potentially 4. round up some of the cars that started at the front of the field. That didn't take long, did it, for Glenn Seaton to get right up into the top 10?
So close to having contact between those two.
It's alongside now the 25 of Curran. Garwood I speak of. Have a look at these Trans Am cars that have made up the field here this weekend. He's second in the championship in the Australian series for the Trans Ams at the moment, and it's getting bumped back through the field here. Glenn Seaton, elbows up aboard the number 30 Mustang. It's that beautiful Mercury Comet of Alan Baljan. Oh, look at this, under brakes.
Around the outside. If he manages to... No, he's not going to be able to pull that off, unfortunately. He got round one car, but Garwood was obviously up the inside for that move. Garwood driving incredibly well too. Saying that Glenn Seaton has set the fastest first sector so far.
That would have been play of the day if he pulled it off. This time he does and moves up into third position. So Glenn Seaton from the 10th row finds himself inside the top 3 on lap 3 of 16.
14 laps to go. Glenn Seaton's got roughly 4 seconds between him and first place. He's going to have to start thinking about some of the other guys coming through the field pretty soon. He's done a great job to get up to third in only 2 laps. You've got guys like, obviously, Garwood's still in there. Gomesel's still making his way through. John Bow, Bressington, Albanica. Some very fast guys still making their way through the field at the moment.
Well, Mark King applying the blowtorch to the back of Leo Tobin, who's driving very well here to hold down the lead. Mark King slots in nice in the second. They've pulled away from Glenn Seaton at the moment. They need to get a move on because Seaton is on a mission. You'll see him come into the shot soon. There he is, the Thunder Road Racing Australia entry, and there's Adam Garwood.
Up on 2 wheels.
Yeah, and these two have been great in the reverse grid race all year long. Oh, here we go. Tries down the outside. Now he'll try to switch back. It's a classic move, but won't work this time.
And all this squabbling is just going to make it a lot easier for Glenn Seaton to catch these guys. You should be head down, focus on the job and hand ahead. These guys, all this messing around, Seato's going to be there in no time.
3 to 1 they come again, and Seaton right on the back. It was 2 seconds last lap by. It's now less than a second. Bow up to 5th, so he's ahead of Curran. Through 2 he goes Gomesel, who nursed that car home for 3rd in yesterday's race. Now it's on. Watch Seaton on the outside of King. The last delayed breakers. He should be able to get 2nd here at least. He's going to have to move the car back across. He hangs tough and be on the best line for the run down to turn 4.
It's a great thing about turn 3. You do go, if you can hold it around the outside, it sets you up perfectly for a big dive bomb into turn 4. I can't believe he pulled that car up in time.
Made it look easy.
It was 20 metres later.
The 2-time Australian touring car champ gets ahead of Leo Tobin, who debuted this car at Winton. The big boss Mustang drops back to 2nd. And now Garwood has got ahead of King. The young 17-year-old Tasmanian just squirming on the brakes, and this will let the production car champion down the inside. They'll go side by side onto the Dick Johnson straight here at Queensland Raceway.
Very respectful racing as well. Obviously on the exit of that corner, you want to give a bit of room. We saw an incident yesterday where it was the final lap coming out of the last corner and someone ended up out in the grass. It could have been a lot worse though.
Lap 5 of 16. Let's take a look at the start here from the front. A little Porsche just got eaten alive by the time he got to turn number 1. Cannon slotted himself into 2nd place as Leo Tobin led us through for the first time. And watch the back guys, the fast guys, who will watch it from Eddie Abelnika's point of view. Brisbane's cheapest cars, and look at him fanning out at the start. That was Tony Karafalowski. Sorry, it was Bressington who got balked by Kasulki then. I wonder what happened to Kasulki getting onto the grass at the start.
I'm just lost here. There's so much going on. 4 wide through turn 1. And some of these guys are trying to put down 700-odd horsepower as well on that race start.
Against cars ahead, they've got half the horsepower. Look at John Bow right around the outside at turn 2.
That's brave. That is seriously brave around the outside there. But JB's always up for that, though.
Right through the middle. They went past some of the Porsches. They're running the IROC class. It's Rusty French. Long break. Just had to wait and see what would happen down here at turn number 3. More replays happening in the field. And that's the 68 going off the track down there of Grant Wilson, making a guest appearance this weekend in Touring Car Masters. And this is the replay. You called this a long way back from Glenn Seaton. Made it look easy in the end.
Certainly did.
This is Garwood on Tobin. So he's up to second place now while we're showing those highlights. So 3.2 seconds, first to second. Now here comes John Bow, moves down the inside of the Holden-powered Tirana of Adam Garwood. The only one in the field. And now Bow moves up to second. Garwood will fight for this. He's an impressive young driver, just 17 years of age. Making a full-time assault in this year's Touring Car Masters Series. You're up against someone who's won the most races in Touring Car Masters history with 40 years of experience under his belt.
Just let it slide through turn 3. It was just enough to let John Bow have a bit of a gap, a bit of light between the two of them heading up into turn 4. So a little bit lucky there. He might have been able to pass him back, the classic switchback, but not this time around. JB does have a lot of pace on, as does Gomersall. Gomersall was fastest in the first sector on the previous lap. Very close lap times to Glenn Seaton at the moment, so once he's got a bit of clear air, it's still a long race to go, 10 laps remaining.
Yep, it was meant to be a 21-lap race, but a question mark next to how much fuel these guys would have left, if any, by the time we got to the end of the race, was questionable. We called it back to 16.
I'd imagine some of these cars are pretty thirsty cars.
Absolutely. Eddie Abelnica, right on board with the Brisbane's cheapest cars entry. For those of you who follow the series on a regular basis at home and wondering where Jim Richards is today, the Falcon Sprint retired yesterday with a broken diff, and he's decided to park it up and do some upgrades before the next round. Here's Keith Kasulki on his return to Touring Car Masters in 2016. Down the inside here, that puts him up nicely in the field here. Eddie Abelnica. Still side by side we go between Tobin and Kasulki. So this is for 6th and 7th. Kasulki not showing on our timing at the moment. We know on the racetrack he's ahead of Tobin now.
P6, great drive by Kasulki after a few dramas earlier in the weekend.
And now poor old Leo Tobin is going to lose 2 positions, the price of 1. The way they went past him, he'll have frostbite if he can get that here on a warm 28-degree day in Queensland. Through they come, halfway home in the final race of the Touring Car Masters here. It's out to 3 seconds between Seaton and Bow, but plenty of time on our side. Smooth for Gomersall, trying to put the moves on the young teenager into 1.
Just didn't quite have the conviction.
Alan Bowgen in that beautiful Mercury Comet. Putting some stone chips on this beautiful looking car.
We've seen a lot of cars go off there on the exit of turn 1. It's a very technical corner, actually. There's a few bumps that still remain, even after the resurface a few years ago, and it can really upset the balance of the car going in there. Put you offline. As soon as you're offline there, you're out of the marbles, you're a bit of a passenger. Very easy to go off the track there.
Particularly down there in turn number 3. That was the pass of Gomersall on Garwood, so he goes up to 3rd place. Curran and Abelnica, 6th and 7th on the track.
Purple sectors for John Bow, the middle sector, so he is catching Glenn Seaton at a fast rate of knots at the moment, closing it to 2.5 seconds. We could have a really good battle for 1st and 2nd on our hands in a couple of laps' time.
I'll tell you, Brett Curran is doing a good job here, hanging inside the top 6 with the regular fast guys. Up contact down here, and that's the 90th Sven Burkhardt's. That's gone off at Darren Bill. Caught up in it. This is Leo Tobin's old car, the Monaro that he raced at Clipsal 500 this year. Off the circuit down at turn number 4.
You'd like to think these guys will be able to get going again. They're not stuck in a gravel trap. You know, if it's stalled, you can restart it.
It's the run into 4. There's Bowgen going through the long way back.
Okay,
That's a big contact.
That's some big contact there. There's probably some pretty permanent damage done to both of those cars.
Seriously big. Burkhardt's be wondering what just happened.
He doesn't look very happy.
No. And Beale trying to get going, but he may be fairly wounded too.
I'd be amazed if Beale could keep going without any damage.
1 second's been sliced out of Glenn Seaton's charge here. John Bow to set the fastest lap, 1:16.985. But Bow getting caught up in some lap traffic. That was Wilson that held him up momentarily. Look at the damage to the Porsche.
Oh, Sven is going to be pretty upset about that.
Heading off to rare spares because this car's very, very old.
without seeing what happened earlier, it's difficult to make a call, but it just looked like Beale was carrying way too much speed into that corner.
Of course, being older cars, they were built tough and they were nice and heavy in the day. So contact like that is going to cause big damage. Here's Adam Bresington aboard the Bob Middleton-owned number 95 car. Returns to Touring Car Masters after a couple of years out of the saddle. Former race winner in a HQ Monaro GTS 350 a couple of years ago, and a man with V8 ute experience. The car's had a new paint job. It's sometimes confusing to see that car with Tony Karanfilowski's. There is TK behind Curran. Rain in 9th position here. What do you think's going to happen here at the front? Bow and Seaton. Check this out very, very soon. It's out of turn 3 go these guys. Replay one more time. This is looking behind. That's Darren Bill, the red Monaro. Watch the contact. He's locked it, and
yeah, just went in just a little bit too hot, and it was a pretty last-minute decision to attempt an overtake, but there's absolutely no way he was going to make that corner at the speed he was carrying in there. So no doubt there'll be a pretty serious exchange of words after that race, and probably, likely, some penalties applied as well.
How did that Porsche not roll over?
Yeah, pretty lucky, very lucky.
Glenn Seaton, 1.9 seconds between first and second place now as we set sail for home in the final race of the Touring Car Masters here at Queensland Raceway.
Lap 9, John Bow's made a big mistake. He's actually lost half a second. He's been gaining half a second a lap on average, but he lost half a second. I don't know if he made a big mistake or if he maybe backed off for the yellow flags or something like that, but that's certainly put the pressure on him to try and catch up to Glenn Seaton.
But the other 3 laps, he's made up bulk time. It's 1.8 seconds. The Touring Car Masters leaderboard, top 4, Seaton, Bow, Gomersall, and Adam Garwood. Going to King, Abelnica and Bresington. Karanfilowski, Curran and Leo Tobin, after starting from pole, now finds himself in 10th place. Behind them is French, Mick Cannon in 12th, Alan Bougen in 13th, then Keane and Graham Stewart completing the top 15.
And we, of course, can't forget about Keith Kasilke, who's not on our timing screen. We believe he's in probably 6th place at the moment.
Should it stay the same in this order, there will be Seaton from Bow and Gomersall for overall round honours. The points are blown out now with Stephen Johnson not starting this weekend. It was 9 points between Bow and Johnson. It now moves Eddie Abelnica up to second, but he's 59 points behind. I dare say it's going to be a lot more by the time the checkered flag comes out in 5 laps' time. 1.2 seconds now, Carl. He's starting to claw back in.
Doing the maths in my head, 1 second at the moment, he's easily going to catch him. It's just how big a fight Glenn Seaton's going to put up, and he's known for putting up a big fight, making that car very wide.
Same too can Bow. He's the king of it, isn't he?
Exactly.
Down to 4. And he's just closed it right in 4/10 on that sector alone.
That was his biggest strength yesterday, was his braking ability into turn 4. So Glenn Seaton will know that. He'll know that that's his strong point, and probably put up an even bigger fight into turn 4. The tactics here are quite interesting. I'm interested to see how it all unfolds in the next lap or 2.
So much experience between these two guys. No rivals back in the Australian Touring Car Championship back in the 90s that got to a point really in 1995, didn't it, when Bow got the championship. Now these days, going stroke for stroke in Touring Car Masters competition. 4 laps to go. It's less than 0.3 of a second. We have a race on our hands here.
Very narrow exit there from John Bow. That's going to set him up nicely if he can just get that little bit closer.
Lap 12, he took it over a second out of it, and now is on the back, and Seaton goes on the defensive.
In a big way. Very defensive into turn 3. But this next corner is the one that John Bow was very, very strong on yesterday. Seaton knows that, straight to the defensive line. You're allowed to make one move in that position, but you cannot return to the racing line. He's going to have a crack around the outside.
Not this time, though, he won't. It was a good challenge. This is where he needs to get the run, but Seaton will stay on the inside and make him go the long way.
Another 3 laps remaining at the end of this one. That's a lot of laps to keep him behind with the pace that he's got.
Watch the switchback. Seaton pushes him wide.
And the stewards will be watching the amount of blocking as well. I mean, it's kosher to block on the last lap or the last couple of laps, but for 4 or 5 laps consecutively,
there it is.
And he's got the job done.
Did it easily in the end. So John Bowe takes the lead on lap 14. Seaton wants to fight back. They'll go side by side down here into 2. It's just great stuff in the Touring Car Masters. 2 professionals, 2 of the most experienced guys you'll see in the field. And a great shootout here.
And we've got a slower car on the track as well. I saw the white flag being waved. I don't know what that's for. There must be someone driving around quite slowly.
Well, the Porsche's slowing down. He's off the course, so he's out of the way. And lets this battle continue on. So in the background, that shot there, you see Darren Beale's car. It's the 7 of Rowan Little that went to pit lane to start. And now it's parked on the inside of the track down there by turn number 3. Here's Bressington and Tony Karafalowski. 7th and 8th. That's a change of position now as Bressington goes up. In the Luberats, number 95 Camaro. Saying about the Beale car, it's off the track, but it's pretty much in a precarious spot down there at turn 4.
You wouldn't want to drop a wheel and go off there with a stationary car. I'm surprised it's not just a single wave yellow there, just in case. Everyone's obviously aware of that vehicle there, but it doesn't take much of a mistake to end up off the road into turn 4.
He's Eddie Abelnica, 6th position. How long he waits to get on the throttle out of the final turn.
When you're putting down that much power, you've got to be patient.
Narrow tyres, these Hoosier tyres, the Touring Car Masters run on. They get very hot very quickly around this track.
Very narrow line into turn 1.
Smart King ahead.
Seems to be on a narrower line just generally. You quite often find it from a driver's point of view, if you're struggling with the front end of the car, you're struggling with understeer, you have to turn in that little bit later for turn 1 and 2 here.
Here's Leo Tobin easing his car down through turn number 1. It's Rusty French ahead. A pole position for the THD Motorsports entry. After repairing the car, there's some pretty weary eyes down there in their camp this morning. Great to see that car back out on the track. Lap traffic ahead here. This could be the moment for Bowe and Seaton. And Graham Stewart gives them plenty of racing room as we come through to start the final lap of race number 3 of the Touring Car Masters at Queensland Raceway.
And there's still only 0.3 of a second between these 2 guys. So I've just gone out to half a second at the start-finish line there. With a bit of lap traffic coming into play, don't rule out a comeback from Glenn Seaton.
Maybe 2 opportunities here. This will be one of them. I think it's a good run. But Bowe will move the Tirana to the middle. Seaton's thinking about it.
Just showing his nose, letting him know, hey, I'm still here. I'm not going away. I'm not going away that easily.
Can't see too much traffic ahead for him here in this final stage of the race.
Glenn Seaton is on a mission because he's just set his own personal best for that first sector. It's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say, so he just wants to put himself in the best position possible in the event that JB makes a little mistake or there's a bit of lap traffic. You've got to be there.
Great shot showing the distance back to 3rd place. Jason Gomersall, who's 4 seconds away. He's 9 seconds clear now of Adam Garwood. We'll get another top 5 result in this year's championship series. It's down to the final turn for John Bowe. He started from the rear of the field. He's coming through to win his 2nd race of the weekend in the Touring Car Masters and stamps his authority here at Queensland Raceway in 2016.
Brilliant drive as we see Garwood, I think, Gomersall off in the final corner. Wonder what happened there, if it was induced or if it was just a little mistake he made. No doubt we'll have some footage of that shortly.
Lucky he had that 9-second margin. It didn't affect the result anyway. He finishes 3rd. Garwood 4th, Abelnica in 5th. Thanks to King, Bressington and Karafalowski. Curran holds on for a top 10 with Rusty French. But these 2 have been the standout this weekend, haven't they?
Some brilliant driving from both of these guys. Coming from the rear of the grid, both of them. Just an awesome drive from both of them. So here's the final results. John Bowe taking the win from Glenn Seaton. Jason Gomersall, still don't know what happened to that final corner, but finishing 3rd. Adam Garwood, great drive. Eddie Albanica, Mark King in 6th. Adam Bressington, Tony Karafalowski, Brett Curran, Rusty French in 10th.
Don't the fans love it down there, the Touring Car Masters here. Rusty French, Mick Cannon, Alan Bowden in 13th, back to Tobin, Keen, Graham Stewart, down to Sven Burkhardt, who have a lot of damage on the number 90 Porsche.